Hello guys, it's Alex from Mini Home Jungle again and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to make your houseplants bushier with propagation, and I think this is gonna be a very satisfying video to make because I love propagation and I will chop them up and I will be happy to do it, even if they will suffer, but no, they won't suffer. They will make roots and they will be happy. So yeah, let's get down to it and let's see how I do it. Okay, well, since it's spring, I think this is the perfect time to make this video because they're starting to grow very nicely. And especially Tradescantias because they really grow like crazy. They are really fast growers. And I will show you here I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Tradescantias, which I really like. And I started them from cuttings a few months ago. And they grew like crazy even during winter. Like I had like 1 or 2 cuttings per plant and they all grew like crazy. Like look at this. There was just 2 stems, something like this. And except for Tradescantias, I also have 1 string of hearts, which I will propagate because it has a few strands. Let me show you. Which are long, but they're only like 4 or 5. So I want to make them bushier. And I also have this little Pilea Glauca, which I also started from like 2 stems and now it grew longer, so I want to make it bushier again and I want to cut it up and see where that takes us. Okay, well, this is the Pilea Glauca that I was talking about. I'm starting with it because it's the smallest and I will just get it done with. I got it as a cutting a few months ago and it was super tiny. I had like 2 this big of cuttings. And it grew, well, it grew nicely, I would say, for 3 months, I would say. And I will just chop it and put it in water and move on. So what I'm gonna do is, this is the main stem. I'm gonna cut below a node, but I will keep a little bit of the stem and then remove the leaves of the node, so it's gonna root there. And I want it to root from here, so I'm gonna cut above the next node, which is here. I'm removing the leaves here and sticking it in water. This is a 1 Tradescantia that I wanna cut, and I don't know the name of this one, so if you know it, please let me know down in the comments. And this one, I had it as a cutting this big, again, like in November. Now it's April, beginning of April. And as you can see, it grew like nuts. I mean, you can see these plants on the trellis that I did in the kitchen in the video that I will link here. You can see them hanging there. They spent the whole winter there, and I think they were getting a lot of sun, so that's why they managed to get this big. So this one grew very funky, like it has this main stem here and it has these random branches on the sides, which I will all cut up and I will propagate them so I get 1 big and full plant. I will start from here. Practically what I'm doing again is, like, if this is the node that I wanted to root, I will cut it just above the previous node and I will just stick it in a jar of water, and that's it. So I'm cutting it here. Since there is no leaf here, I'm just gonna pop. Well, this is a Tradescantia zebrina and it goes the same exact story as this one. I got it a few months ago and it grew very leggy. I already took a few cuttings for it actually to exchange for other plants. And it's a very beautiful plant because it's not the normal Tradescantia zebrina where you have silver lines. Well, they are a little bit silver, but they get sort of rather purplish. So they're not really as striking, but it's really pretty. And yeah, so I'm chopping it up. here we are the next day, because yesterday it was too dark to continue filming and I had to do everything off camera because the sun set and there was not enough light to continue, and I couldn't wait for today to continue cutting. I had to do it yesterday because I just got into it and I just had to get the job done. Now they may look a little bit sad right now, like this one for example, or all of them in fact. But that's not bad news because I left enough nodes on the rooted cuttings, on the ones that are already in soil. I left enough nodes so that they would make new babies, new shoots, and then eventually when the ones I cut, when they make roots, I will pot them up together with these ones but in bigger pots, so I should have bigger pots and I think that's gonna be cool. As far as the cutting goes, I may have gone a little bit too far. For example, wait. Oops, this one fell out. Oh. Okay. Wait. Yeah. I think I have more cuttings than what I need, than I know what to do with. But I guess I can change them. Like I can do plant exchanges and things. But I'm gonna have really big full plants. And I think they're gonna root in no time. Like in 2 weeks I should have roots. I didn't do the string of hearts yesterday because it is slightly different than what I'm gonna do with the Tradescantias. So I'm going to do that now. And I wanted to show you each of the ones that I cut yesterday. So this is this one sort of lemon lime. I don't know what type is it. As I said yesterday, like if you know the species, let me know in the comments because I have no idea which Tradescantia this is. I'm pretty sure it's a Tradescantia because it's a Tradescantia. Then this is the Tradescantia pallida. As I said, it's pretty sad, but there are some nodes here and it's gonna shoot new babies. Then this one here is Tradescantia elegans, and this is what we have now, but it has like baby here, baby here, baby here, baby here, and there's still plenty of nodes there that can grow new babies, so I think it's gonna go well. This is another one, I think it's a Blosfeldiana, this one, but do let me know if you know exactly, to be sure, because I all got them from cuttings from friends, so I don't know exactly the names. I left some of the babies that were closer to the soil because I think that is gonna make a nice bushier plant. And eventually when these are done, I'm going to repot these, so I have a bigger pot full of cuttings. Then this one, this is actually my favorite one. It's really pretty. This one is a Tradescantia quadricolor, Fluminensis quadricolor. And originally it's supposed to be variegated, but as you know, all variegated plants are looking to go back to green because green is where they have chlorophyll and they can do photosynthesis and more energy and blah blah blah. So I only have like one stem here that is variegated, and all the little babies that is making are also variegated, which I cut them off yesterday and I propagated them. And then I also have one here and one here, which this one is completely pink. It's really cute. And the rest is green, but I honestly don't mind it because when it grows big, as you saw yesterday when it was still full, it grows really nice. It's really nice, very, very, I don't know, architectural, I would say, in my opinion, in my taste. Eventually, when those cuttings root, I'm planning to pot them separately, the variegated ones and the green ones, because I will put them in different pots and I will consider them two different plants. I mean, they are the same species, but they look a bit differently. So this is another cutting that I have from the elegans, and it also looks a bit sad, but it's okay. This is the Zebrina, the purple one. It also looks a bit sad, but this one, like really, in my experience, this one grows like crazy in no time. So I'm not worried at all about this. And then we have the string of hearts, which we will cut now. So what I have here, obviously, is the string of hearts. Then I have some leftover soil from some other plants. I actually don't have any more new soil, so I used some old one. but it's still okay. It wasn't infested with pests or something. Perlite, like the most important thing about this is that it's well draining and slightly moist. It's not soaking wet and it's not dry. It's slightly moist and it's well draining. It's not like compact or like, yeah, compact or too clayish. So yeah. What I'm gonna do with the string of hearts is this. Well, this one is too fragile, too new, so it's not going to root, it's rather gonna rot. So I'm going to start cutting at the second node. And as we did with the Tradescantias, I'm cutting right above the previous node. So if I want to propagate this one, I cut here. Then I remove a little bit of this stem here. And I will show you later how I do it. I will just take all the cuttings and then I will layer them in the ground. Okay, so this is what I'm left with from the original plant. I left a few nodes on each stem that I already have potted here, so that each node can create a new growth. And I should be able to see them within a week or two, I think. And I have plenty of cuttings here, which I'm going to put in the soil now. And I plan to, when they root, I plan to put them all together in the same pot with this one, but in a bigger one, obviously, because there are too many. And I want to keep some for my friend who initially gave me this plant, which was about 3 years ago. Well, we came to Paris, we had a trip, and I saw this plant. It's a Ceropegia woodii, by the way. And I saw this plant at a friend's house and I was really amazed by it. I really liked it. And she gave me a few cuttings and now I ended up with this big plant. And I also have one more in Italy that I couldn't bring here. So this was another one that I started from zero. Yep, so I will show you how I do it how I put them in the soil. But before, I wanted to show you something that I've been doing the last few weeks. Here I have a box full of cuttings of the same plant, only variegated string of hearts, and they have been doing really well and it's really satisfying, so let's take a look. Well, I'm really satisfied from this propagation. Actually, this method, I didn't say, it's called the butterfly method, and I'm sure you've seen it like on Instagram or YouTube many times. This is the best way to propagate string of hearts. I used to do it with stem cuttings, but now I discovered this and it's really amazing because every single cutting produces a new stem and it's really great. And yeah, this is the variegated string of hearts and they've been doing really well. Like in 2 weeks I can see already new stems growing at each cutting and they all have roots, so I'm really happy about this. Now I'm going to put these cuttings in the soil. Practically what you want to do is like spread the bottom leaves slightly so the node can actually have contact with the soil, and you just push it in the ground, and that's it. Actually, you just go on until you're done. Okay, so that's all I needed to do for today. Now I just need to wait patiently for about a few weeks for the roots to form. And I guess I will just see you in a couple of weeks then. Bye! Been a month and a half since then, and not only 2 weeks as I originally thought. And a lot of things have happened, such as I had thrips infestation and I had to deal with it, and I had to treat all of my plants, including them. So that was not nice. And also I think one thing that influenced the growth of them was that the weather was terrible, so they didn't get so much light. And I think that for some of them it did make a difference. Like, I think they would have rooted faster if there was better weather and light. But anyway, that's it. So let's see which one rooted how much. For example, the Fluminensis rooted like crazy. It's the most successful one. And as you can see, it has plenty of roots. It filled up the whole glass, and in fact I think maybe even I exaggerated a little bit with waiting, because now it's going to have a little bit of a harder time to adapt to soil. But it's a Tradescantia in the end, so I think it's gonna be well. Then we have the Zebrina and this other green one that also rooted very well. As you can see, the jar is super full of roots. Actually, the Pallida didn't grow as much as I expected. It still did, but usually in my experience it grows pretty fast. Like I think in 2 weeks usually it has pretty well developed roots. In this case, I don't know what happened, but it didn't grow so fast. It's still rooted pretty well, as you can see, but it's not as well as I expected. And also it does have some stains, and I was wondering if that's from the thrips, which I never managed to find any of them, or any other pest for that matter, on the Tradescantia, or any Tradescantia I have. But this one does have some weird stains, and I don't know what they're from. Maybe it's from the sun, because it was in a very highlight position, so maybe that's the problem. And then we have the Elegance, and the teddy bear vine also grew some roots, rather slower than the other ones, I would say. But I found out the name of this plant. It's not a Tradescantia, it's called Cyanotis bedomei or Kewenensis. I don't know which one it is, because if you write the name on Google you will find the same plant for both names, and so I don't know what's the right name. But I'm glad that I found out the species. And they both made little babies on the mother plants, which are these ones here. Like, you will see, actually all of them made a lot of new growth, as I expected from the nodes that I left on the stems that were already potted in the soil. In general, all of them did pretty well. For example, the ones that are already in the pots, the ones from which we took the cuttings, they are doing very well, and as you can see they all have new growth points here. The Fluminensis weirdly got a bit yellow. That surprised me a little bit, because yeah, normally it was doing very well, even better than the other ones. Like, she grew really fast. But I think that this may be because it was in a very highlight area, and I think maybe that's the problem, so I'm hoping that it's going to perk back up when I repot it. But even if it doesn't, I have plenty of cuttings here, so I think it's gonna go back to normal. And the string of hearts actually also did very well. As I expected, there is new growth from every single node that we potted up. There is also some aerial roots that are growing from the stems like this, like in the air, because it was growing in a closed box, and I never opened. Actually no, I did open the lid a couple of times, but only like 2 or 3 times in this whole time. I never added any extra water. I kept it under grow lights, and it worked very well. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to pot them up in new pots, combine the cuttings with the plants from where I took them initially, and yeah, let's see how it goes. As far as the soil goes, I'm using some well-draining normal houseplant soil. I think this one in particular is like cactus and succulent mix, and I plus added some more perlite to aid drainage. But Tradescantias are really not fussy about this, so I think there won't be any issues with the soil. And as far as the pot goes, I decided to pot them in terracotta pots for as much as I have. I don't know if I'll have enough for all of them, but I think this is a good pot for Tradescantias, because it allows them to dry out quickly, and they don't like to be in soggy soil constantly, so that's what I decided to do. here we are, I finally finished. I obviously did most of the work off camera because I didn't think it was worth that you see me repotting, you know how it's done. It took me a fair amount of hours to do all of this because between one thing and another I ended up repotting other plants as well, and so yeah. Anyway, here we are, and I think they look great. I'm really happy with how they look, and I think that in a few months they're going to look even better. And this is the potential of the plants that I keep talking about. I always keep thinking that you get a cutting and you can grow a full plant of it, and like I don't see only the one stem with 2 leaves in the cutting, but I see the potential of it. I see what it can grow into, and I think that's really cool. And the patience with houseplants is really paying off because you invest the time and the attention that they need, and then in a few months you get cool plants, great looking plants, and oh my god, it's just so satisfying, it's so rewarding. I don't know, I'm really happy how this looks and how it turned out. And this is how you start a collection of houseplants. You take a cutting from a friend, or you buy it if you will, and then in a couple of months you grow a plant, then you take cuttings again, you propagate them, you exchange them for other plants, and there you have a whole collection. And you know, like I started my collection only a few months ago. I mean, I restarted it again because I had another one in Italy who I had to leave behind because I moved to Paris. And I basically started from zero, and in these few months, like I've been here since July 2020, and until now I have more than 100 species in my apartment. So it's really rewarding, and I invested really little money in all this, you know, like it's just a lot of work and patience, and yeah, it just, you know, it works. The local plant groups are really great because there's a really cool network of people who like to exchange plants, so yeah, it's just really the best thing. Anyway, enough rambling because this video is way too long already. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please click the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions or doubts or whatever concerning the video or what I said here, let me know in the comments below, or you can write me to my Instagram page where I will gladly answer your questions. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye! Thank you for now. This is bored. Okay.
Please. Wow. Sorry, there is a dirty sock on the chair.
And then I forgot what I wanted to say.